Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing my February wrap up, and February was a good month. I read 7 books. So yeah, let's get into the wrap up. First one I'm going to show you, I just finished it Sunday, and that is Fangirl by Rowell. And this is one that I have been meaning to read for a long time now because everyone on BookTube has read it, or so it seems, and they love it. And my friend, this is actually her book that she let me borrow. And so, yeah, I finally read it. And I did enjoy it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. So I did enjoy it. And if you don't know what Fangirl is about, it's about this, the main character's name is Kat, and she goes off to college. She leaves home and goes to college. And Kat has a twin sister, Ren, and they're pretty much used to doing everything together. But Ren decides that she wants to branch out when they get to college, and they should have separate dorm rooms with different roommates. And so Kath didn't really like the idea at first, but you know, she gets used to it after a while. And it's basically just about her experience being a freshman in college for the first time and trying new things and, meeting new people, falling in love. So that's pretty much what this is about. And you guys know that I don't normally read much contemporary books. So this is one that I read that I actually did enjoy, and I can kind of see why it has all the hype that it does. The characters are really great, really amazing. I loved all the characters, especially Kat's roommate, Reagan, yeah. I really liked her. She was really sarcastic and witty. All the characters in here are really great. Levi is just so lovable. So I did enjoy this. The only downside I would say to this is that there were some parts that were kind of slow, and so I was thinking, okay, this is one of the reasons I don't read much contemporary, because I feel like more so in contemporary, there are parts that are slow that you're kind of like, okay, let's pick it up. Something happened, even if you have to kill off a character, let something happen. But yeah, so the middle part was kind of slow, but it picks up a little bit more again towards the end. And I did like seeing, Kat and her relationship with her sister and her friends, and just the whole dynamic with all the characters were great. So, yeah. So that's one I finished recently. And then the next book, also another contemporary book. I don't know, February I just read a lot of, well, not really a lot of, this is, I think, the only contemporary book I have left to show you guys. And that is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. And this is the sequel to All the Boys I Loved Before. And it's the final book in the duology as well. And this one I was pretty disappointed with. I read To All the Boys I Loved Before in like I read it almost 2 years ago, I think. And I enjoyed that book more than I thought I would. But with P.S. I Love You, it felt like kind of a letdown. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and even that is kind of generous. Um, I feel like it really didn't need a sequel, and I think the only reason um, there is a sequel is because of the way the first book ended was kind of a cliffhanger a little bit. And I think if the first book, were to wrap up better and have, if it was longer and had an actual resolution and wrap things up, then there really isn't any need for this book. I really didn't see that much of a need for a sequel. Um, the author tries to do a love triangle in this one, which you guys know I don't like love triangles, and I just felt like it wasn't necessary. Like the second guy that Laura Jean becomes interested in again, their relationship I felt like was pretty brief. Like they didn't. It's hard to explain, but I felt like there wasn't much there, that there wasn't any need for a third or second guy to come in and try to make this a love triangle. I felt like there wasn't a need for that. And I think the main reason it was even in there to begin with is to, make this book have somewhat of a plot, because otherwise it just was not interesting at all, and I got bored with it. I'm sorry, but I just don't think it needed a sequel. The first one was fine. I enjoyed the first one, but I don't think there needed to be a second. Then the next book that I'll show you guys I read was The Revolution of Ivy by Amy Engel. And I really enjoyed this. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is a super quick read, and it is the second and final book in a duology. The first one was the Book of Ivy, and if you don't know, the Book of Ivy is mainly about this town where there was sort of like a civil war where there were two competing sides competing for power, the Latimers and the Westfalls. And obviously the Latimers got into power and they controlled the town. And so what happens is the daughters of the losing side have to be married off to the sons of the winning side in like an arranged marriage. And so the main character, Ivy, is set to marry Bishop, which is the president's son. But the thing is, her mission that she's been working on with her dad and her sister was to marry Bishop, get close to him, so that she could kill him. And so that's the premise of the first book. This one picks up where the first one ends, after everything that's happened. I won't say what happened, but there's a lot that happens at the end of the first book. This picks up right from there, and there's a lot that kind of happens in this book. There were, one or two moments in the middle again where it was kind of slow, but it picks up again pretty quickly. It is a short book. It's less than 300 pages, so it does pick up again quickly. Um, the one thing I'll say about this is if you're looking for, this series is set in like a dystopian setting world. So if you're looking for something with like an original plot and an ending that just blows you away, this isn't that book. Um, it's pretty predictable in the way things ended, but I will say the thing about this book and this series are the characters. The characters are amazing. I love the characters. You really connect with them. You connect with them. You want to cheer them on. They're so great. Especially Bishop, which just reading the series. It's really easy to fall in love with Bishop, and I'm sure a lot of people do. I certainly did, and honestly, I would recommend this just for Bishop. Like, I would recommend reading the story just for Bishop, because he was probably my favorite character. And I just loved how, like, even though his dad, his dad's the president, and even though his dad has, certain ways of doing things that he might not agree with, you know, he's always been like really fair and really compassionate and caring and like does things in a different way. And I just really like his character. So if anything, I'd read it just for Bishop. But all the other characters in here are great too. Ivy, she really develops into a strong character. I feel like in the beginning, in the first book, she was kind of getting her way, starting to become more of a strong character towards the end. In the beginning, she was more like being molded by her dad and her sister, listening to them and what they think about certain things, and like sort of letting them mold and shape her. But towards the end, she starts to realize, not everything they tell me is true. Not everything they say will be something I agree with. I still love them because they're my family, but that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything they say or think. And so she really starts to come out on her own. And so I really liked her character as well. So, yeah. Like I said, I gave this 4.5 stars. So, yeah. And then I do have 4 more books to show you guys, but I am going to save that for part 2 of this video. So yeah, I will see you guys soon with part 2. Bye.